Do you mind if I record you?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Awesome. And your son's awesome. So your name is?
Bill Garrity.
Bill Garrity, and this is your son, Jordan.
Yes.
But you call him Jordy, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. My son, Jordy, right on. Cool. All right, so, hey, folks, we are walking to FDR Park because they're shutting down the last leg of the BSL, which is the subway. And so, yay. So anyways, we're walking in. And yeah, I know. I mean, well, you know what I think? Oh, let's get around here. Well, I think that the common people, and I mean that in a positive, the good, normal, average, Little House on the Prairie type of common people, us people, we have a certain moral code. The golden rule actually matters to us. Treat others the way you want to be treated. We believe in honesty and fairness, and I don't think that the oligarchy plays by that rule, that set of rules. And as long as we believe they're playing by the same rules that we are, we're going to be outplayed. And I think that they are willing to do anything to gain power, and that they don't have the same moral or ethical thing.
That's true, and I know that from experience because I worked on Wall Street for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the contracts that were written that basically guaranteed that the folks in the oligarchy would make a profit whether a company succeeded or failed.
Right.
So then it became in their interest for a company to fail and get bailed out.
Yep.
High five.
Yay! I love the high five tradition.
Hey, she has a Bernie tattoo just like you.
Oh, really? Wow, I wish I'd seen that.
So it is your son was bringing up some good points about, even with Bernie, they're still going to be rich, just maybe a little bit less rich. So what's the problem with that, people?
Well, maybe not even a little less rich, because if you are stockpiling money,
yeah,
it's a lot like if you throw 20 pounds of bananas in with a cage full of chimpanzees,
yeah,
and the two strongest ones collect all the bananas and don't
yeah,
let any of the other ones have them, and then they eventually go bad.
Right.
And that's what happens with the money that sits stagnant.
Right.
It piles up. As the economy begins to deteriorate, the value of the dollar goes down.
Right.
So their $20 billion is worth maybe $5 billion. Whereas if they gave up half of that and put it into the economy,
right,
their $10 billion would be worth $10 billion.
So why are they doing this?
Because they see it, they've got blinders on. They see this as a game of Monopoly. The guy down the road has $11 billion. I have 10. So if I don't give my employees a raise, pretty soon I'll have $11 billion, and maybe I'll have 12, and he'll only have 11. So it's a pissing
match.
Scorecard. It's a scorecard, right? Who's got the big, the
well, and we know historically, whether you're looking at the royalty, lords, the oligarchical class, and pretty much every single previous society becomes, in a way, sort of mentally insane. And it seems like they do this over and over. They get to a point where it's just a giant pissing match, and they
become cloistered.
Right, they're only hanging out with their own folk. That's why I think we had the top 5% of our island recently decided to build a opera house on our island. It's like a $23 million opera house on an island of 11,000 people that does not have a community center. And the people on the island have been begging the wealthy to get together and donate to a community center for like a couple decades. And they can't get the wealthy to be excited about a community center, but the wealthy could get excited about a literal opera house that would bring in international caliber shows. So now this huge building that absorbed all the resources on this island of the top 5% sits there empty day in and day out next to all of our schools with nobody in it except when it's open in the evenings for a ticketed event. Meanwhile, people on our island who are the service industry workers are fleeing the island like rats off of a sinking ship because they can't afford to live there. And they're all starting to buy houses off island and start commuting back because their family, their kids, their community's there, their job is there, but they can't afford to live there. And the wealthy people on the island really don't seem to understand this, or they don't care. It's one or the other. They're either ignorant or they just don't give a damn. And it's really been fascinating watching that whole thing go down over the last 3 years.
That's amazing, and I wonder if they're happy with that. I suspect that they are, at least in the short term.
I guess. You know?
Well, did you see the movie Where to Invade Next?
I did.
And he talks to people, company owners in Europe, yeah, we're getting there, who say, why do I need to be even richer?
The Italians.
Yes.
It was the Italian clothing makers. That's right.
When I can't walk in and say, how's your daughter doing? How's your mother doing? You know?
Yeah.
And just enjoy life and the people and have them happy, because happy people aren't taking unfair advantage of you. They're
Right.
taking fair advantage. And that's what's making them happy.
Yeah.
So it's so good to pay people a fair wage and
A living wage, not a poverty wage. All these minimum wage in America across the board everywhere is actually a poverty wage.
Yes,
I think minimum wage needs to be legally set up. Codified. The concept needs to be that a minimum wage must be a above poverty wage. You cannot, I think, call it a minimum wage and know that it is below the poverty level.
Yes.
You got to call that a poverty wage.
Regionalized too.
Yeah, because it's
But for
different
now,
everywhere.
15 is adequate.
Yeah. Well, hey, okay, so I'm going to pause the video for a second. We can keep talking.
Okay, sure.
Yay!